Let's go. Okay, I just finished trading for the day, and what I want to do is talk a little about the setup of the bundle I use for trading. The purpose is to show how repetitive the logical sequence is with the indicators I use here. It moves very quickly. This is specifically for scalping, but I'm going, right? Moving along the chart. I'm going to stop and we're going to locate the sequence. Then what happened? It's easy to try to say, look how good, how cool. But the reality is that it's an overly repetitive sequence. Let's try to go here from when the market opened today to see what happened. I actually traded for a little while. I wasn't there the whole time, but let's get around here. And we can observe. Let's stop around here now. Okay. Basically, what I was looking for when I created, right, the combination of these indicators is to get as much information as possible that I can find on an order flow chart. I used to scalp, right, and make trades by looking at an order flow chart and trade it on a 1 minute time frame chart. The problem with the order flow chart is that at least the indicators that I use are very heavy on the computer CPU, and well, I couldn't trade on that same indicator. And too much data for the eyes. I mean, it tires my eyes and blows my mind very quickly. So I started looking for combinations and found several ninja indicators that revealed the same information I used to see on the order flow charts. Here, see, look more or less. This is the sequence that we're going to find. Here we have it step by step. And these steps here are, in my opinion, the most repetitive and the most, so to speak, the most reliable, that we're already in a trend. And the trend has a high probability of continuing in our favor. There are many other alternatives. There are 5 or 6 indicators. They all provide signals for quick scalps. We can enter, exit, and continue, but basically, starting when you get the idea of the concept of this chart, well, it's at least to follow the safest path. Let's identify them here. Look, here we have one. The first step is to identify a signal of fatigue. There we can observe the ADX signals, and we can also observe the multi-oscillator signals that provide us with overbought and oversold. If both signals appear at a level, that's a very strong signal. Then we move here to the chart, and here on the chart we see a fatigue signal. What does this mean? That a possible reversal is coming. And then this one in particular is supported by this bar, which is provided by the imbalance volume sensor. When it's like this magenta color, it's going down. If you notice, here is the ADX exhaustion signal. There's the imbalance volume sensor. If we look at the second step, we should already be seeing the ADX signal. Where is the ADX signal? Look at it here. And the third step, a pause at the bottom where it doesn't have a defined color. We're not going down, it's not going down. The bottom becomes indecisive. We have the cross and the gem, and the ribbon forms downward, opening the moving averages, the gem. And then we have the entry signal, which is step number 4, which is provided by AAA. At this point is when the trade opens. And there it's a matter of following up. Remember that this is a chart with Ninja Renko 25. And these candles, well, are very volatile. This runs at a fast speed, and we have to be alert because if it turns 2 or 3 candles against us, that's enough. If we have good risk management, that would be enough to take us out right of the trade. How then do we determine that we can stay in the trade? Well, let's start monitoring. If you see here 396, 491, 469, and we keep seeing the increase in volume, that volume is provided by the volue candles, okay? And we stay below the ribbon. As long as we stay below the ribbon, we're good. Now, this point here would have already been a possible exit if we wanted to, because here we already have a movement. Oh, this is the Nasdaq E-mini, and there we already have a movement for a quick scalp, quite healthy. And my style, what I look for is to enter, exit, and wait for another opportunity. I don't do swing trade. And then here we see how we confirm that here we see and have another signal downward. We can continue here now. We then have the the iceberg, which is the other indicator I use. And then here we already have the fatigue signal with a possible change upwards. This is already a big move, and there we can already exit. And if we then return to the guide, here we see the trade continuation, which is what I just explained, and also where the possible exit is, which in this case would have been this point. And with all that, look how it came back. Here the imbalance volume sensor comes out again, confirming that we could have continued in that sale. And then we move. If you notice here, we have another sequence with the same steps. The difference we have here, which we hadn't seen, is that here then we have the POC, the point of control, and here we have a positive delta. But what happened there, that was absorption. There wasn't enough strength. The sellers were more aggressive and ate up those buyers, and we continue there. Where do we exit? We return. Look at the signal here. So here we have another signal. Why don't we enter? Because we don't have confirmation from the other sequences of the other indicators. Here we go again. We have another one. The same, we have the fatigue, the ADX, the momentum without color in the background, the AAA signal below the gem. We're off. Where do we exit? Here. Next, we go back. And these back-to-back trades, I don't do them. When I make a trade, if I had made this trade and exited here, I don't jump into this trade quickly. I leave at least a cool down period of 2 or 3 minutes before I get back into it. But being in this heat and then continuing in this one, well, it's a lot of fatigue. So we go back, and it would have been the case. Here we have ADX again, the background. AAA above the gem. We're off. Where do we exit? Here. We go back. Another one, this is repetitive all the time, all the time. If you have the indicators and haven't been able to, right, figure out you have to give it, you have to give it uh, a little time to this. You have to observe, keep watching the behavior on the chart itself to learn to familiarize yourself with this system. I tell you, since I set up this system first, I had no idea it would become a product in the Ninsa store. And second, it was an experiment I was doing little by little, and I didn't think it would then become the system I operate with every day. So now we have to touch base important information. Like what? Not all the signals I take. And why? Because when I start my session, the first thing I do is analyze the chart the day before. I will observe levels, important levels, the pre-market zones, initial balance. Although I don't trade the opening range, I do observe the opening range to see where those levels are, because many times the opening range, high level, coincides with an important level, maybe from the initial balance, or maybe from a FIBO that I draw with levels from the previous day. So that part, no indicator can replace that portion. This analysis, I can do it the same on a chart I have with indicators in NinjaTrader, as well as I can use a chart I have from TradingView. I don't trade on TradingView, but it's quite easy to use. And if you notice, I have an indicator that provides me with the information of the levels. I have the cumulative delta, and very importantly, I observe the ATR. The ATR is what will help me determine what ATM I will use for the session. The ATM, if you ask me, the most important part in any operation is having a good ATM that protects you. Knowing when to exit, respecting ourselves. If what we had was a determined margin of X amount willing to lose, respect it. When we start moving that stop loss because we don't want to exit the trade, that's when we start to lose. This that's part of, right? I'm creating a video with a little more detail showing then how I make those plots, right? From the previous day where I put, well, the levels, I mark if there are important news. Nah, I don't trade near news times. When the market opens, I at least wait 15 minutes after the market opens to then open trades. The system, like everything, is not infallible. It can make mistakes, but it will tell us exactly what the market is expressing. And the important part, you have to learn to read what the chart says and not interpret what we want the chart to say. Since I started, right, seeing it that way, my trades started to look nicer. Anyway, I'll leave you this little video. If you have any kind of doubt, question, something in a setup of the indicators that you think I can help you with, you can contact me here on Discord or on YouTube or Instagram, wherever. So keep going. We're here to help each other. And this is a career that can help us achieve many things. So thank you for your attention. God bless you.